Warm. 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 Move your eyes. Warmer, you see. Warm, warmer, warmer, hot!
ITV's FA Cup coverage in association with William Hill.
And a warm welcome again.
Welcome to the blue half of Manchester. The FA Cup has reached the quarter-final stage. So, for the 8 teams remaining, it will be next stop Wembley, if they could win this weekend. Everton were semi-finalists last year and finalists in 2009. David Moyes would dearly love to go even further this year, wherever he may be next year. Wigan have never been further than the quarter-final stage of the FA Cup. A semi-final would be a fine reward for Messrs Martinez and Whelan. City are toiling behind their neighbours in the Premier League, but have progressed smoothly to the last 8 of the Cup. Barnsley were hoping for their second Cup semi-final in 5 years. The Tykes have work to do in the Championship, but relished a day of distraction. For a decade and more, David Moyes has brilliantly led Everton Football Club, but a trophy would be more than the cherry on the toffee's cake. Wigan, by contrast, have work to do in the Premier League, but would love for the first time ever to reach the last 4 of this competition. The thoughts of the Scotland boss Gordon Strachan later, but first to the action at Everton. Commentary from Jim Beglin and Peter Drury.
As Goodison clears its throat to bellow its team to Wembley again, Wigan dream of a first ever FA Cup semi-final. Everton give an FA Cup debut to Jan Mucha a week after his Premier League debut for the injured Tim Howard. Phil Neville returns to skipper from midfield, and Johnny Heitinger deputises for Phil Jagielka. Wigan, as strong as they've been in the Cup this year, young keeper Joel, Jordi Gomez and lifelong Evertonian Callum McManaman have been staples in this competition. Alcaraz returns from long-term injury, otherwise it's last week's team. Goodison growls on days like this. Truly, this ground was built for knockout football. Everton demands Wembley again. Wigan dreams of a piece of its own history, a first ever FA Cup semi-final. McManaman. Gomez for McCarthy. Boyce returning to skipper the side. Shana. McManaman. Boyce. Aimed in at Kone. And Distin allows Mucha to come and gather. It's as strong, Jim, as Wigan have gone in the Cup this year.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think after last week's troubles against Liverpool, I think the important thing for Wigan is a solid start and to get things right defensively.
Osman won it for Everton. And Jelavic won the game's first corner at the Gladys Street end.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see now who the one is elected to pick up Fellaini. And no surprise to see Paul Scharner as the one, and I think that could be a key duel in both boxes.
Baines, Mirallas, Distin!
What a ball in. At that pace, it's really hard to defend it. I mean, it's worth short, and Wigan are just caught. They're just caught napping on it. I mean, it's a brilliant ball in.
Spread by McManaman. Here's Maloney. Running at Coleman. Maloney has hit the inside of the post. What a gorgeously shaped shot.
Well, I think that passage of play just shows how well set up Wigan are today, because defending in numbers, making it difficult for Everton to penetrate, and Maloney just wanted to come inside on his right foot, and to be honest, I thought it deserved to go in. It's absolutely brilliant.
Oh, Coleman slipped. Maloney could capitalise. Kone through the middle. McManaman back post. In by Maloney. Kone!
Well, the better team probably should be ahead. The better team of the away side. And just listen to the reaction around Goodison for that, trying to get the team going. It's a mistake from Coleman. He just must have taken his eye off the ball. And I think Maloney's done the right thing. Just whip it in on the left foot.
The form he's in at the moment, you expect Aruna Kone to score. 6 goals in his last 7, either side of the African Cup of Nations. 4 in his last 3, including the 2 at Huddersfield in the last round. And he has scored home and away against Everton this Premier League season. Osman. Janovic again. Alcaraz has done well. But McCarthy was caught on it by Morales. Here's Janovic! Good save, Joel. Low and strong-wristed.
Well, considering, you know, he's suffering a drought at the moment, Janovic, that was pretty confident. That's good to see. First time, doesn't even need to take a touch, and a very good save from Joe. It's another foul. Coleman's late on Maloney then, and it's a clumsy one from the fullback. Just mistimed it and didn't need to make any contact.
Gomez. Down by Osman. It's come out to McCarthy! What a really cracking half volley.
Well, I think he was probably expecting, as he controlled it, McCarthy, that he would be closed down a little bit quicker by Everton once this dealt with. I mean, he seems to have quite a lot of time before they could get to him, but very good attempt.
And a decent save from Jan Mucha too. Once more Gomez, and goal! 9-all Figueroa, and Wigan lead at Goodison.
Well, no wonder he's smiling, Roberto Martinez, because I think the game plan has been executed extremely well by Wigan. They're coping comfortably at the back, and again, it's just poor marking, isn't it, from an Everton viewpoint. Just seems to run off the back of Leon Osman, 9-all Figueroa, and there's a lot of grappling between McManaman and Jan Mucha. He's just trying to stop Mucha from coming to get it, and he certainly was successful in that, McManaman. And I think, on what we've seen so far, for me, it's merited.
History waiting for him. Fellaini. Up in the air by Shana. High from McCarthy. Wigan have something to cling to now. And Neville's given it away. And McManaman's on his bike here. Callum McManaman! 2-0 Wigan! Callum McManaman against the club of his childhood dreams. The Evertonian at Goodison. And twice in a trice, Wigan have scored here. Neville culpable. McManaman with one of the moments of his life.
Well, don't try telling me now that Wigan are concentrating more in the Premier League. Forget it. They've got the taste for this big time. Phil Neville, we know it was a bad mistake. He tried to find Distan, got nowhere near him. This guy's got the pace, but he had a long time to wait before he came up with the finish. But how cool is that from Callum McManaman? And what a position Wigan are in now.
Asked this week, David Moyes, whether he just needs a trophy. His answer was, never mind me, Everton just need a trophy. Maloney. Beausejour's gone beyond him. Kone wide here. McManaman loitering on the edge of the penalty area. Kone, Gomez, oh my word! It's 3-0 Wigan. An extraordinary FA Cup purple patch. Beyond believability for Dave Whelan. Who saw this coming?
This is incredible football, it really is. But again, for me, Everton are just not getting tight enough. I mean, Kone's got all the time in the world to pick out Gomez, but how sweet is that? There's a couple of defenders in front of Mucha, he just uses them as shields, just to pass it into the net. Jordi Gomez, and I mean, that's Barcelona-like. Obviously, the position they're in has led to an awful lot of this, but it's just lovely football.
Maloney. Another free kick, and it's just not Everton.
No, it's not. They haven't got going. I don't know whether Everton have just underestimated Wigan on the day and felt that, well, if we just turn up because of the form we're in at the moment, it will go our way, because they haven't got going, the home side.
Maloney, quite a fingertip.
Well, I'm not sure he was going for goal or whether he was just trying to get it on somebody's head for a little flick on, but Jan Muka had to be smart again. Because I think in the last minute the Slovakian realised, hang on a minute, this could be just creeping in or coming back off the woodwork, and he had to get that touch.
In by Gomez, away by Mirallas. And behind from Maloney. Stunning, staggering, disenchanting for all Evertonians, but boy, what an effort from Wigan. Figueroa's header, McManaman's sprint in on goal, and Gomez with a sumptuous, silky stroke of the ball. And in 3 extraordinary first-half minutes, Wigan went halfway down the M6 to Wembley. Extraordinarily, at half-time at Goodison, it is Everton 0, Wigan 3. Those left in the ground must get behind Everton now. Goodison can be, in itself, a great boon to the players. Some have left early. We've heard a story from outside the ground of a supporter of 36 years standing who has left the game early for the first time ever. Baines playing it in, away by Shana. And those wild eyes will have pierced into the minds of his charges at half-time. Aimed at Anichebe, and set back for Fellaini!
No, but at least there's encouragement around the whole ground now. I mean, I think the crowd have managed to gather themselves a little bit at half-time, and they are right behind their team now, and it's not a bad try for Fellaini, just cut across it a little bit.
Beausejour got it back from McCarthy, and then couldn't deliver the pullback for which McCarthy was screaming.
And to be fair to Beausejour, I mean, he looked for Kone. Kone was doing his best to find space and to provide an option for him, but in the end he's gone for McCarthy. McCarthy's the one who just laid it off in the first place, followed into the box. Maybe if he'd gone for him a little quicker, he might have found the gap.
Beausejour's take. Alcaraz squeezed against Fellaini. Given back to Figueroa. Goes behind it. Gibson has been given last-minute instructions by David Moyes.
Probably overdid it a little there, Kone. I think he knows. I think he's confident he has the beating of heighting it.
How is the substitution? Please show your appreciation for number 25, Marouane Fellaini.
Wow, a reception like that for Marouane Fellaini. Must say, it is rare that you see the big Belgian have so little positive impact on any game of football. But it is a harsh appraisal by the Everton supporters, for whom he is generally a favourite. Replaced here by Darren Gibson. Mirallas onside now for Everton. No, he's not. No, he's not.
Well, he didn't know, and he did the right thing, Mirallas. I mean, I think he's just realised upon turning around that the flag was up. Not sure whether he heard a whistle at all, and he had gone. It is off.
Stephen Child's got that absolutely right. Osman. Anichebe. Barkley!
Well, it was a mistake from Wigan to allow it, because the ball really should never have found its way to Barkley. Again, it's well worked on the left-hand side, and ball in, that shouldn't have got past Alcaraz. That's a mistake, and Barkley's just a little kind of cross with himself that he didn't get the right connection. Just cuts across it slightly. And he knew it was his chance.
Potentially his dream moment. It is worth reminding of where Wigan have come from. 20 years ago today, Wigan played at the third level of English football. 20 years on, they're 3-0 up in the cup quarter-final at Goodison. Ooh, to be a Wiganer. 2,500 of them have made the short trip, and they're having a good old sing now. By Gibson and Osman. And, you know, they couldn't score if they played till Christmas. It's one of those days for Everton.
It's a really good save, this one from Joel, because I thought Osman was gonna notch one at least back for Everton. I mean, how it got all the way across to him is a bit of a mystery, but that's a good stop from the keeper, and I think Coleman's reaction tells you what he felt about his effort, because he should have probably steered it inside that post rather than out.
I don't know how many times I've worked at Goodison Park down the years, but I have never seen so many empty seats before the final whistle. Wigan history, and congratulations to them and to him. This splendid, ever-growing club can now relish further the adventure of a first-ever FA Cup semi-final. Splendidly earned, with a first-half performance of purity, gorgeous goals, and the dream is that much closer to being fulfilled. Goodison near empty and stunned. Everton 0, Wigan 3.
Roberto, in many ways, you must feel that was a complete performance from your team today.
Yeah, it was. And we all know that our games against Everton, they're always tight. And we always felt that every time we've come to Goodison Park, we've been a little bit unfortunate that we haven't been able to cope with, if anything, that pressure that they develop. Sometimes we come here and we played really well, but at the end you end up losing. And I thought today we control that sort of environment. I thought we were composed enough to defend the aerial threat that they've got. I thought we reacted quickly in any divided balls. I thought we stopped the fluent arrival of the fullbacks. And then on top of that, we showed real composure to play and to score 3 goals. I think it shows you that it was a complete performance in both angles. So very, very happy, because we showed that real maturity from the last time that we played at Goodison Park, and that can only help in our run in the league.
Well, once or twice the cameras picked you out in your seat today, and I think at one point we heard you mouth the words "unbelievable." Is that what you said? Is that how you feel?
The first half, I thought we were unbelievable. We played Everton completely off the park. We got the ball, we kept the ball. 3 brilliant goals. I mean, the last one of Jordi Gomez was an absolute, one of the finest goals I've ever seen. I was stroked it in like that. And we hit the post, we could have gone off 4 up. So we've had one great afternoon.
You simply haven't had many days like this, and the word that most people are using about it is un-Everton, untypical, and that must be the surprising thing.
Yeah, we gave away a couple of really poor goals, but Wigan had started brightly and had hit the post, so it wasn't unsurprising. You know, we were hoping that we would get through, weather it, and start playing a little bit better, but we didn't. And when they got the goal, and then the quick one after it, and after that again, so it made it really difficult for us to get back in it. But you know, the players at half time, we said, come on, it's been done before. We want to try and get the first goal back quickly if we can, and see where we go from that. As it was, we didn't get it, so we never really were able to put them under any real pressure.
Callum, you used to support this club as a kid. How could you have done that to them?
I don't know. It didn't come true for me. Like, I'm just made up to get through. Over the moon.
You received the ball there, and you still had to get past Distan and then put it in the back of the net. Plenty to do, plenty to think about, but you struck it sweetly, didn't you?
I know. I can't even remember it, to be honest. Just made up it went in.
I had a dream this week, and the dream was that we came here, we beat Everton, Blackburn beat Millwall, and we draw Blackburn at Wembley in the semi-final. And I've unfinished business at Wembley because I was carried off in the 42nd minute, and I still feel I should have got a winner's medal that day. We had a full team. No substitutes then, of course. No chance, 10 playing against 11. But to get back if we could play Blackburn at Wembley and get to the final, if we could bring that challenge, not the Challenge Cup, that comes to Wigan every other year. If we could get the FA Cup in Wigan, it will be absolutely unbelievable.
Well, Gordon joins me to look back on an excellent win, perhaps a surprising win to many for Wigan at Everton.
I think it was the surprise was the way they went about the victory. They started with a fantastic move to say to everybody, yeah, we can pass the ball, and probably everyone expected that. But what happened after that was terrific. They actually pressurised Everton as well, Wigan. They got about them. They used their energy. And when they got the ball back, they did what Wigan do. But they did that with more energy than I've seen before, because take Maloney and Bozajur, they were excellent running forward, overlaps, people running from midfield. So the energy, you can have energy when you're defending, but they also had it going forward. Add that to technical ability, then they were first class.
And the goals came thick and fast in that period in the first half, and each of them actually there was something to admire about the goal.
Yeah, I would say though, when you have Distan and Jagielka together, then that makes Everton better. And I think that was, you seen that in the first goal when Figueroa, you know, he's been man-marked by Leon Osman. You know, that's a mismatch. So it shows they were struggling for a bit of height, but you've got to deliver the ball and you've got to header it, which Wigan did. Then after that, they got stronger, they got better, they really enjoyed the football after that, Wigan. And I said, at one point, you know, in the second half, I think, I looked at David Moyes, and usually as a manager, you go to bed on a Friday night, you imagine all the scenarios. I don't think you've seen that one coming, and I actually don't think the Everton players seen that coming either, because at times they were stunned about the way Wigan were playing against them, and they lost their concentration. Fellaini at times, when he gave the ball away, he was looking up to the sky, and the world was horrible against them all, but they couldn't dig themselves out today. And it's the first time ever I think I could say that Everton were out kind of fought. You know, usually they win that type of stuff, but today I thought Wigan did everything. So for Roberto, all his coaching, everything's come together today for this wonderful performance.
And it's, I would think, a hard one for David Moyes to swallow. He's done so much that's good for Everton, gone so close in this particular competition. So to fall short in a game he probably expected, planned to win.
As I said, he would probably never expect Everton to go out like that. You know, basically in the second half with a whimper. Now that's no Everton, and something's happened there. But I think we've got to look at Wigan and say, listen, this was their day. You know, as I said, we all know about that. Probably Everton expect them. We've got to play against Wigan, technical ability, but they can be a bit soft at times. Well, they weren't soft today at Wigan. And you don't have to go into crunching tackles to be hard. You just need to close people down, and when you get the ball back, you use that energy, because from the first goal, they got even more energy, and they used that to run forward. And they were clinical when they got near the box.
And it's a great reward for Roberto, who we got to know in Poland, who's a bright young thing, and wise old fox Dave Whelan.
He just loves football, Roberto. You know, at times we were listening to him too long at times. You know, I was going to my bed, I couldn't think of anything after being Roberto for 3 hours. Footballs, tactics, everything was going round in my head. I just wanted to sleep. But he's infectious.
He is.
So I think he talks to players, he lets them know what he wants. So as I said to you, I think it all come together today, and he'll be a very proud man, Roberto.
It's an excellent win for Wigan Athletic, and of course the owner Dave Whelan, who has his own memories of Wembley, as we've heard. Next we'll see what happened here at the Etihad. Manchester City, of course, started strong favourites, but good Barnsley, with work to do in the Championship, possibly upset the Eastlands apple cart.
With this season's FA Cup competition, you could win a brand new Vauxhall Astra GTC VXR 2-litre turbo. And if you really love football, we're giving you 2 tickets to see every home league game next season, 2013-14, for any club of your choice from this season's English top division. And there's £5,000 in cash to help with travel to and from the games. To round off this amazing football prize, courtesy of Budweiser, there's 2 VIP tickets for the FA Cup final on Saturday the 11th of May at Wembley. For your chance to win all these great prizes, there's no question to answer. Just text CUP to 65330. Text costs £1.50 plus 1 standard network rate message, or there's free entry at the website. Entrance must be 18 or over. Entries made after all entry routes close at 5 p.m. on Thursday 18th of April 2013 will not be counted but may still be charged. Date restrictions apply. Winner will be contacted on the 19th of April. Good luck!
Now, Barnsley Football Club have won the FA Cup, for those that don't know, although it was back in 1912. By contrast, Manchester City's most recent success in this competition was 99 years later in 2011. This should be a mismatch, but then it is the Cup. Commentary here at the Etihad from Chris Waddle, and first, John Champion.
A quarter-final of vivid contrast. Blue against red, Lancashire versus Yorkshire, Manchester City, Richard Croesus, facing Barnsley, who in the best Tyke tradition have to be somewhat more careful with their money. In fact, only two of their players, Foster and Dagnall, cost a transfer fee. They borrowed Ryan Tunnicliffe from Manchester United. City make 6 changes. Aguero and company are injured. Despite his brush with the law on Thursday, Carlos Tevez has a licence to thrive. Wembley on the horizon. Manchester City facing championship opposition for the 3rd time in the FA Cup this season. It's Barnsley's first crack at a Premier League team. Guaranteed a vibrant atmosphere inside the Etihad. Crowd just under 47,000, little more than 6,000 of those from South Yorkshire. The manager of Barnsley, David Flitcroft, took over from Keith Hill at the end of December. He's got the job at this stage to the end of the season, and he's made a really positive impression.
He's a very positive guy when he talks, isn't he? He's always looking at the positives for his side, and he believes he can win every game, and he's trying to install that winning mentality into the players. He's had a good run. Just come off the pace recently in the league.
Samir Nasri. And Dzeko!
That's what they can do. Great ball by Silva. Out wide to Nasri. One thing in his main, onto his right foot. We know he prefers that. Dzeko. Little run to the near post. Just checks behind Foster. It's a little bit too high for him. He's always reaching.
Nasri. Strong play from Craney. Tunnicliffe. David Silva. Barry. Yaya Toure. Kolarov. Dzeko. Yaya Toure. And surely for Tevez. Well, it's not been his best week off the pitch, but on it, he scores for the 4th game in a row.
Well, if you're there in Cliff, what you're probably saying, there's not enough pressure on the ball, but let's give Manchester City credit. Good movement. This is a great ball in here, and this is a lovely little flick. He's not offside. And he flicks it there. It's a good save on the post, but Tevez, very alert, reacts first. Lovely little ball there. And that's a great effort by Silva, good save. And Tevez is here to put it in the net. And it's going to be very difficult for Barnsley now.
Tevez. Nasri. Inside him is Kolarov. 3 waiting. Tevez.
Oh, great play. Again, getting down the flanks. Nasri, Kolarov gets a really good overlap and run round. Nasri just rolls him, and it's a wonderful delivery. Just clips it in, doesn't he? Tevez at the far post gets up. He'll be disappointed he didn't get it headed down towards the target, but good play again by Manchester City.
Dzeko. Tevez, and now Foster has the problem. And here comes Kolarov! Super goal, and a comfortable Manchester City lead now.
Well, we saw it in the last round, John, against Leeds, didn't it? First half where they basically won the game. This is wonderful play. They get the ball back here. Perkins gives it away too cheaply. Tevez again, always alert, always bright, gets his head up, and he picks his pass out. for Colorado. That's a fantastic ball by Tevez. He spotted the run, the weight of the pass, his top draw, and the finish is class.
Yaya Toure protests and Barnsley get on with the game. Sivka. Sivka was on his way down before he made contact with Barry. Or Barry with him. Here's Tevez. Nasri. Kolarov. Silva. Tevez. 3! And some electrifying football by the reigning Premier League champions, marching already towards a Wembley semi.
Absolutely fantastic football. There, that pass was over, hit by Tevez, and look where he is. And this is the guy who scores a goal. Look at him, he's desperate to get in the box because you can see another goal. Wonderful build-up play. That is a wonderful pass, as is that. Tevez keeps his head. Quality player. Great finish. You've just got to think, he started that move on halfway line. Who appears in the box to finish it off? Carlos Tevez. Wonderful build-up play and a class finish.
Dzeko. Tevez. Tevez foiled this time by the palms of Luke Steele.
Well, I don't know how long they had the ball for City. It must have been, what, 15, 20 passes. And then eventually it comes to Tevez. Dzeko just rolls it into his feet. One thing in his mind, he's always looking to turn and get a shot. And it's a comfortable sail for Steele.
Nasri. Yaya Toure. It's a good leap by Craney. There's Dzeko.
As well, really, to get the shot through all that, doesn't he? Goes through a couple of challenges and still hits a target.
Fairly relaxed discussions taking place on a Manchester City bench where that isn't always the case. Tunnicliffe. Dagnall. The two who forced to wait. Thomas Sivka now. Wiseman. Dagnall.
It took them nearly 40 minutes for them to have a nice little bit of build-up play and a decent delivery. Eventually comes in, Wiseman comes in, and Dagnall gets there first but can't direct it onto the target.
Manchester City reigning supreme so far, to paraphrase and maybe slightly plagiarise a famous piece of commentary from an FA Cup final of yesteryear. That was in 1974, Liverpool and Newcastle. Here in the quarter-final, Tevez 2, Kolarov 1, Manchester City 3, Barnsley none. And Barnsley will find themselves bottom of the championship after results involving other teams earlier. In what looks a pretty hopeless position.
Well, it is when you're playing the champions of the Premier League of England, and it's very difficult. Manchester City are really on song first half. Doesn't matter who they were playing for me, they would be winning this football match. So it's very difficult for Bayern. I think Flitcroft will say basically, look, we're going out there, you're attacking your fans at that end, just keep going, stick at it, and you never know what can happen. We may get a goal, but to win this game, no, I just can't see it. They've just come up against a side who were absolutely outstanding first half. The concern, John, was for me was, would City come out and take the foot off the gas? And so far, the evidence says yes.
Nasri. Tevez! Manchester City's driving force has a hat-trick.
What a great run, and what a ball to pick outside the right foot to pick out. Man in form at the moment, there's no doubt about that. Carlos Tevez makes the headlines. This is so easy for it. Nasri just turn a pace there and he's off. But to pick out Tevez, outside the right foot. Listen, it's not the greatest finish with his left foot you'll ever see, but it's got in that bottom corner. Nasri does ever so well here. And to pick him out outside the right foot, listen, it's not a great finish, but it's ended up in the bottom corner.
Well, he's the man, all right. And Barnsley's pain increases. Hanging rather limply. Foster, O'Brien. As Manchester City have a week before their next league game, Barnsley have just 3 days. They entertain Brighton on Tuesday night. Here's Mellis. And he was sufficiently impeded for Anthony Taylor to give Barnsley a free kick. Taken quickly by O'Brien. Mellis. Scotland, O'Brien, Mellis, Scotland. Mellis! Barnsley's best moment of the tie so far.
Well, he looks very lively, Jacob Mellis, doesn't he? Since he come on, he's little give and go here, look. Wants to get involved, comes back to him here, and again. And that's a decent effort. It's a first effort on target. It's a comfortable save.
Here's Perkins. Scotland, neat touch. Ryan Tunnicliffe. And Tunnicliffe drives on. Denied by the leg of Pantilimon. Jason Scotland again. And then Mellis.
Oh, I think that's 3 efforts on goal they've had now. He was unlucky, wasn't he? Terrific turn of pace by Tunnicliffe. He goes there. And they chased him, he's kept his head. I've got to say, it's a good save by the keeper. The big keeper spreads himself well. Comes out to Scotland. And again, it's that boy, yeah, Mellis. First time effort, straight at the keeper.
Silva. It's Tevez and Silva. And Silva again. And Manchester City complete a nap hand.
Well, they can just turn that pace on, up the tempo of the football match whenever they want. Okay, they lose the ball there, they win it back well, they hunt in packs and away they go. They break very quickly. Silva again, gives it to Tevez, he gives it back. It's in a good save by Steele, good reaction save. Who reacts first? David Silva. There he is, never panics, off the left thigh, little volley into the net from what, 3 yards.
Tevez keeps looking across at the bench and saying he wants to come off. He's been limping a bit. Well, they've been trying to get a Poznan going for a while. It's only what they call the singing section of the stand on the far side. Customers over there used to stand on the Kippax at Main Road. Lescott has conceded a corner. And James Milner is going to come on in place of Tevez. Here's the opportunity for the change. Hat-trick for the Argentine. And a Wembley semi-final to look forward to.
Well, he's been excellent today on his movement, his finishing. It's just his overall game been excellent, as has Manchester City have been today.
Dzeko's header, Mellis. Considering he's just backed a hat-trick, it wasn't the warmest of exchanges between striker and manager as he came off. Here's Dzeko.
One thing in his mind there, Dzeko, was he was never going to pass it.
Does come across as quite a cold fish, Mancini. Not one for a hug, or indeed on that occasion a handshake. There may have been inquiry as to what the injury is. It's a rarity, just freeze the frame there. A smile from Mancini.
Rewind.
Might be a contributory factor. O'Brien. Scotland. Dzeko. Razak. Yaya Toure. James Milner. And Milner inside of the upright and out again.
Oh, did he hit that? Did he catch that? Oh, what? Steele's just patting the goalpost, saying thank you. What a terrific strike, power. Oof.
Ultra professional Manchester City. Ultra unlucky Barnsley to meet a side so motivated and so on song today. It is Manchester City who head to Wembley for a semi-final after a 5-goal, 5-star display. It's only the second time in 32 years that they've gone beyond the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. It books them a second visit of the season to Wembley Stadium, but the headline act, Carlos Tevez with a hat-trick. Manchester City 5, Barnsley 0.
Very pleased because after the game is easy, but before it's never easy in football. And for this reason it's important to have a good concentration when you play this game, because the other team don't have nothing to lose in this game.
We've come up against world stars. The physical side of it is incredible. The physicalities to that team, the technical ability, the desire, the passion, you know, they wanted to put us to the sword. Even when they come in at half-time, they've come out in the second half and still wanted to put us to the sword, ruthless. So we've got to learn something from that group of players that we just played against.
To get off to a start like that, did that make the difference, really?
Definitely make a big difference, you know, because when you play against that kind of team, you just need to knock them down from the first minute, which we did, I think. And after that, you know, they lost the confidence, and for us, we was more relaxed, and we start to build up our game.
Carlos Tevez seemed to come off and went straight down the tunnel. Was he injured at the end?
No, nothing.
No problem. There was an exchange of words between you. Did he say something as he walked off?
No, I asked him if he had a problem in his muscle or hamstring. I said no, it was only tired.
I got the balance of the team wrong first half. I went with too many pressers and not enough passes and retainers, and that's something I've learnt off today. But you know, we can wake up tomorrow and reflect on what we've come through and get back to the league programme, and we're looking forward to doing that as a group. So we'll draw what we can out of this game.
We want to do well always. Premier League, FA Cup, but sometimes it's not possible because the other team is better. But it's clear that we want to go in the final if it's possible.
Well, it was a canter, was it not, for the home team here?
Yeah, I got worried at a certain point, you know, in the first half, then in the second half. There's 2 points I got worried. I thought it could be a real going over. But the hang in there, and the fact that Man City, I think they kind of down tools at 5. And whereas Manchester United, well, went for you and tried to score 10, they went 5's enough. But, you know, when you play against teams like this, technically you're not as gifted, that's for sure, if you're Barnsley. But what you have to have then is a physical presence or real pace. Unfortunately for Barnsley, they never had none.
No.
They had big hearts and they wanted to do well, but because of the physical presence, it's like a rugby pack. It was like they were giving away 2 stone in every position. And any time there's physical contact, Yaya Toure, Lescott, Dzeko,
yeah,
they would push you away and knock you down. So the lads were trying, they really were, but physically they just couldn't compete with Man City.
No, and you said to me, not long into the game, Barnsley were in some ways too positive in the sense that they were too long across the pitch and City could cut them apart.
The pitch was too big. They were trying to meet them at just about the halfway line. And because of that, Man City were picking them off. And what they did as well, Man City, was gave great width to the game early in the game, where even Silva stayed out, normally plays in. He stayed out to step in. And what happened was they tried to play Dzeko and Tevez against the 2 centre-halves and stretch the full-backs who could play on the side, which they could do. But I think Barnsley might have thought, right, we'll go and press them. But they might have been better than saying, listen, we'll go back to 40 yards out and condense it so the centre-halves have got some protection there, whereas they tried to press them up the pitch and got picked up.
We sat amongst the home fans. Do you think they are finally back in love with Carlos Tevez, who got a hat-trick here today?
Football is an incredibly strange game. Anybody else that downs tools at any other business and walks out, then it's hard to be accepted back. But these people are cheering. But that is football.
Yeah.
If they come here on the Saturday, be entertained and win. What he gives you, entertainment, he gives you hard work, and he's involved in a winning side. So the fans just say, forget that, the 6 months, whatever it was a year ago, that guy can help us win trophies again.
And this just might be an important trophy that Roberto Mancini might yet win, might save his job.
Well, there's a good chance they will win it, that's for sure. And as we keep saying to Arsenal no win a trophy for whatever, 7 years, and they keep pointing that towards Arsene Wenger and talking about his position. But he keeps winning trophies, Mancini, and he'll probably, there's a great chance he'll win this as well, and end up being second in the league.
Yeah, which by most people's measure would be a decent season. I don't know if that applies at City anymore. It's such are the expectations, but
you'll get that at Chelsea as well.
Yeah.
You'll get that also at Arsenal. The fans who pay that kind of money, they expect their team to be picking up trophies. Unfortunately, not everybody can pick up a trophy.
No.
So somebody has to take a hit sometimes.
Thank you very much as always, Gordon.
Thank you.
Thank you for enduring the northern weather conditions. He's used to it, tough Scot. Meanwhile, before we go, here's what's coming next from ITV Sport. More live FA Cup football tomorrow as Manchester United take on Chelsea with Rooney, Rafa. It's set up quite nicely at Old Trafford. We start at 4 p.m. on ITV, and there are highlights of tomorrow's 2 FA Cup quarter-finals at 10:15. The other game, of course, is Millwall against Blackburn. So, wins today for Manchester City, very comfortable for them, and they are going back to a familiar second home for them at the moment in the new Wembley. For Wigan, it will be a delightful chance to get acquainted with the new National Stadium. We'll see you tomorrow.
There it is. ITV's FA Cup coverage in association with William Hill.